Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason and the channel is The Everyday Card Collector. In today's episode, we're going to go through some food issue items. Not terribly long ago, maybe about a month or 2 months ago, I did an episode of Mount Rushmore with my good friend Aaron. We do that show on occasion, sporadically, and we had Theo on from Clemente Collector. And the topic was food issue items. And it dawned on me that I've shown several of my food issued items throughout several different videos at different times, but never kind of gathered them all together and shown them specifically on one video. So I thought it would be fun to do this. I'm going to go ahead and show several cards, but it's probably going to be broken up into two videos. So this will be part one, and the next video obviously will be part two, based on what I have to show, because there's quite a bit of stuff here. Stuff that I know has been on the channel. Most of it has in some capacity, I believe. But it's just fun to kind of talk about these particular issues. We're not going to see any crazy out of whack issues. These are all pretty mainstream food issues, if you will, that are pretty attainable for not an expensive price for most of these cards. So I enjoy collecting them. I think they're fun to look out for, fun to kind of hunt down. And quite honestly, you know, there are some really more pricey food issued items that I want to add to the collection, but, you know, haven't at this point in time, but will sooner or later. So I figured I'd kind of enjoy showing some of the less expensive food issue items that I have in the collection. So I'll get the camera turned around. We'll look at a couple different issues today on this episode, and then on the next episode, we'll finish off with a couple other different sets, if you will. So let's get her going. We'll get her turned around and look at some cards. So let's get into it. Okay, guys, so as I mentioned, I enjoy kind of hunting down and collecting a lot of the food issued items. As I mentioned, what I'm going to show is mostly mainstream items. It's not the more scarce and exotic and harder to find issued items, but stuff you can pretty much find anywhere if you do a little hunting and digging. So the first set that I'm going to show is one that I've recently got into and picked up a couple of these at Strongsville, but it's the 1964 Wheaties stamps. So these actually went into a book. So they're blank backs and they're actually pretty thin, but I love these things. And, you know, they're from 64. 64 was a year where they issued a lot of different sets. This being one of them, along with a whole bunch of other different sets. But I really enjoy these. They're pretty clean cut, squared off images, and I just think they're fantastic looking and affordable. So, you know, if you're looking to get outside of the mainstream of the Topps Bowman runs and you're looking to kind of dive into something else, some of these food issues are perfect to start to dive into and affordable to go ahead and do so. So again, this is my 1964 Wheaties stamps Nellie Fox. Great image. Got the mouth of chaw, you know, dip in there. The next two I picked up from my good friend Rocket Rick at Strongsville. So the 1964 Carl Yastrzemski. And I know I've shown these when I did my Strongsville in hand video. Again, blank backs. You can see how kind of thin they are. You can almost see on the camera there that you can see through them. So they're not thicker cardstock, they're paper stock, because these were meant to glue into a booklet. And then the last one, again, this is an affordable Willie Mays. 1964 Playing Days, you know, Wheaties stamps, Willie Mays. So this is an affordable card, or stamp, or whatever you want to call it. I call it a card, item, if you will. But just a fabulous image, you know, pretty standard image. I think we've seen it before with Willie. But if you're looking to build up a collection of Willie Mays stuff and you're on a budget, this is an option. This is certainly an option. This with many of his options from the 60s, you know, the 1968 game set is another option. There's just a lot out there. But I love these. And I only have these three and plan on picking up a few more down the road here. The next two that I'm going to show are from two different years. And I only have two of them. And again, I want to pick up some more of these. And so this is more of an item and not a card, but it's the Salata coins. So this is the 1962 Salata coin, Sherm Lawler, my guy, catcher for the White Sox in the 50s and 60s. And you'll see here, kind of tough to catch on camera, but you'll see here it's a plastic back. So that's the 1962 coin. And that's an awesome image. Fantastic image, very affordable. You know, if you're not buying graded coins, they're extremely affordable. If you don't mind a couple little dings around the edges, they're definitely affordable. So this is the 62. Again, that maybe catch a view there, kind of a plastic back. And then this is the 63. This is my Louis Aparicio. And when I say dings, the 63s are actually metal or steel. So these will come a little dinged up, like the Topps coins were made out of metal. These are very similar to the Topps coins, and I think those were 64 as well, if I'm not mistaken. But a lot of times on the edges, you'll have a couple dings and nicks there. So if that doesn't bother you, you can find a lot of these items of some really good players at an affordable price. So again, a perfect opportunity if you want to step outside of the realm of just cards and you kind of want to look for some of that quote-unquote oddball stuff. This is a great option. So lastly, as I mentioned, I'm going to break this up into a 2-part series. I wanted to do some of these today, and then I'll do some of them on the next episode. Why don't we get, let's see if I can get, I always forget to do this, guys, but these are top, so we'll kind of put Louis up there. These are probably, of the mainstream food issue items, this is probably my favorite set. So I love these. I know a lot of people are high on some of the other sets. One set that I'll be showing in particular on the next episode, and that is the post-serial cards. So this is my 61 Mini Minoso, really great shape. These are all hand cut, so you'll see a lot of these. If you do see them graded, they're going to be graded authentic because they're hand cut. This one happens to be in particularly really good shape, cut well, but a lot of kids may have cut them a little short. Therefore, you'll get that A because minimum size not met kind of thing, which is just silly when we're talking about hand-cut cards. But beautiful image. This is a 61. I got a couple 61s here. Stats of the previous year on the bottom. A little write up on the player to the right there, and then their image. So it's just a perfect card. Perfect baseball card to me. Next, 61 Curt Flood. So you see this one's got a little bit of, it's got a little bit of staining on it more than the Mini. The Mini was pretty clean. That one has a price tag on it. I don't believe it paid that. You'll see some creasing on the back there, guys. You see that? So that's the cardboard kind of creasing, not coming through on the actual front of the card itself. But these are going to be a little more well loved. To find one in really good shape is fantastic if you can find one. They were basically cut out of cereal boxes. 61 Don Drysdale. You can see he's even got a little writing. There's a little red ink on his face there. And you can see how it's cut on the right. So that was off cut, obviously. But just really cool cards to have. All of these are pretty clean backs for the most part. As far as a lot of times you'll get a little residue, glue residue from the carton or something of that nature. But these are pretty clean. And I love this set. When I say set, I should say several sets. So Post ran from 1960 to 1964. I just showed you a bunch of 61s. I'm going to show you a 162 and a couple 63s. So the next is my, this is 62, Carl Yastrzemski. And that's cut pretty darn nice for a post-serial card. You can see it's kind of off a little bit in the upper right there, but still, if this was cut by a kid, they did a great job in 1962. So you think about it, his rookie card theoretically came out in the 60 set. Some people argue that his rookie card should be a 61. So this is an early days Yastrzemski. This is his third year as far as cards go, second year of playing days, if you will. So just a beautiful card. And there's you can see the difference now. We're talking 61 to 62, if I can show that there. So the 61s had the black key line and then the stats in the yellow. 62's got kind of a blue key line that goes all the way around the stats, and the post serial logo is kind of more prominent on the 62 than the 61. So that's kind of your visual difference. And then you get into the 63s. The first one is my guy again, Sherm Lawler. I just showed him on the Salata coin. I grab his stuff up when I can, and it's pretty affordable for the most part. Again, that's got a price tag on it. I don't think I paid that. If I did, that's fine too. But you can see kind of off cut a little bit, not cut perfectly. If you're into real clean, real perfect cards, this might not be an option for you. If you just like having cards and having a little history behind them, knowing that some kid in 1963 cut that out himself, that's pretty cool. I kind of dig that. So, you know, it kind of gives a story to the cards, or you can kind of envision a story with the card. And my last 63, I bought this at my LCS. This has been on the channel, is my 63 Yogi. And this is in really good shape. I will say this has got some glue residue, which is not uncommon on the back. But the way it was cut, you can see the black border all the way around the card in comparison to the Sherm. So, you know, the Sherm might be the quote-unquote minimum size not met because of that. Typically, I think on hand cuts, if you're going to SGC or PSA, they need to see that key line, or at least half of that key line. So you really got to be on top of that key line or more, or have more of it, in order for it to quote-unquote get a number. I believe that's how it works. So, I mean, this could be grade worthy. I don't know that I'm going to ever grade it. We'll see. Grading isn't a real priority for me at this point in time. But you never know. I could. But yeah, so you can kind of see the difference in the cut. And again, the 63s, to me, look a little more similar to the 61s. So this is the 62. Again, you can see the difference with the posterior logo and the color of the border down below. These are a little more similar, although the 61s have the black key line, and you know, it's kind of bleeding off. The image is bleeding off a little bit, as opposed to being framed in to the card with the white. So, but yes, I love the Post Serial, guys. These are to me, very affordable and so much fun to collect. So I would recommend that if you're going to look into food issues, you know, Post Serials are definitely a fun way to go. I know a lot of collectors have them. I think they're awesome, and I'm gonna keep collecting them, along with the Solana coins and the Wheaties stamps. So those are the 3 issues slash sets that I'm gonna show in episode 1. Episode 2 will dive into a little bit more with 3 other issues of what I consider to be mainstream, maybe 4. I've got some other random stuff that I might throw in there, but yeah, I thought it'd be fun to kind of get the food issue stuff together on one or 2 videos, and kind of lump it all in for everyone to kind of soak in just food issued items. And again, there's a lot more different sets out there, a lot more scarce sets out there, a lot older sets out there. But this is kind of the fun mainstream food issue items that you can keep an eye out for, and they're pretty darn affordable. So that's all I got for you tonight, guys. I hope you enjoy this kind of content. If you do, please feel free to like and subscribe, and we'll talk on the next video. Thanks for jumping on, everybody. Bye-bye.